Sade was her mother's favorite. She was beautiful and elegant, and her mother treated her like a princess. She dressed her up in very fashionable dresses. Sade was the envy of all the other girls in her classroom. People admired the way her mother took good care of her. Her father, Mr. Tunde, was well-to-do, and so money was never the issue when it came to the children and family. But one fateful night, their lives took a new turn. They were watching TV in the sitting room, giggling and laughing while they ate their dinner. Sade was telling her father about what her teacher had told her in school that day. Suddenly, Sade started to choke on her food. Her brother, Tolu, quickly ran down the staircase to get water for his sister. And they heard a loud noise that almost shook the whole building. They rushed down the staircase, and before them lay Tolu in the pool of his own blood. Sade's mother, Arike, screamed, "My son!" But Tolu was already unconscious. They tried to revive him, but all to no avail. They quickly rushed him into the car and took him to the hospital, where they received the shock of their lives. Obviously, Tolu had slipped on the staircase. He was carrying glass cups of water, and so that caused the loud noise. But that did not stop there. He had a brain damage, and so he was in coma. Arike blamed Sade. If not that she was always talking to her father and making jokes while eating, her son Tolu would never have fallen on the staircase. But Sade was only but a child, and so that responsibility was too much to lay on her shoulders. Her father Tunde continued to pay the hospital bill, with the hope that one day Tolu will wake up and become strong and agile, like the son that he remembered. 1 week gradually became 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 1 month, 6 months, and a year, and yet Tolu was yet to awake from his coma. Arike was already a shadow of herself. All the love and doting that she did to Sade, she had stopped showing her love and affection. Mr. Tunde, Sade's father, was still present and tried as much as possible not to blame his daughter Sade for something that was simply out of her control. Mr. Tunde had exhausted almost all his savings on his son and life support. They had almost spent all their money and were really broke at the moment. One day, as Sade was sleeping, she had a dream where someone took her into a forest and showed her different herbs that she would pluck and cook for her brother Tolu so that it can be okay. When Sade woke up, as young as she was, she tried to wave it off as a dream, but something kept telling her that this was something that she should try and figure out. So, the next day in the afternoon, Sade dressed up to fetch water, and so when she got to the stream, she looked around and saw the same footpath she had seen in her dream. She followed the footpath, and behold were the leaves that she had seen in her dream. She plucked them, went home and cooked them, and then kept the liquid in a bottle and demanded that her father took her to see her brother in the hospital. When they got to the hospital, Tolu was laying there. Immediately, Mr. Tunde and his wife Arike stepped out to talk to the doctor. Sade used the liquid on Tolu. She took a few drops and put it into his mouth, touched him, laid her hands on his head. Tolu immediately sneezed and woke up. Looking around in shock, Sade fell and fainted. Her parents heard the noise and quickly rushed back into the room. And behold, they saw Tolu, their son, who has been in coma for about a year, looking well again. They saw Sade on the floor and immediately they tried to wake her up. They sprinkled a little water on her face and she was awake. The doctors were amazed. Everyone needed and wanted to know what Sade did. She explained everything to her father, and her father was overjoyed. So, his daughter had a gift, and his son Tolu is finally awake. That was two blessings at once. They were so happy that they threw a party even though that they were broke at the moment. Everyone came around and celebrated with them. And slowly but surely, the love in their family started to come back to what it used to be. But deep down, Arike had not forgiven Sade because the money they spent on the hospital bill made them broke. If not for Sade, at least she would still be able to wear those dazzling wrappers and those expensive George that she usually bought. Just when they thought that their lives was back to normal, the worst happened. One day, as Mr. Stunde was coming back from work, he had an accident, and before they could even rush him to the hospital, he died on the spot. Arike was sad and wept bitterly. She was already a young widow at this point. She was tired and sick of this life. She had no business, and her husband left nothing. How was she going to take care of her 3 children? How was she going to survive? After the old burial, they started eating from hand to mouth. But one day, Arike said, Sade has a gift, and yet we are hungry. Going forward, she is the cause of all these problems and all these financial restraints that we are experiencing. Going forward, she would provide for this family with her talent. And so, from that day henceforth, Sade was always locked in her room. Her mother, Arike, stopped her from going to school, stopped her from playing with other children. She was always in her room until a client came around. Even though her mom knew that after healing people, she usually fainted or felt very weak for days, she didn't care at that point because she needed money to keep up with her lifestyle. Sade's life was now secluded. She was always in her room. She made the habit of reading, and so she was even knowledgeable than most students that went to school. They would only call Sade to come and eat after hours in her room, but she would eat her food anyways because she had no choice. Even her brothers were becoming distant from her. Anytime she complained that she was sick or was tired, her mother would yell at her and order her to immediately go outside and attend to people. Sade would sometimes sneak to the school and watch students studying. It reminded her of when her father was alive and when she attended the school. Her mother would still come there and drag her away from the classroom. Arike would forcefully drag Sade out into the compound of the school before forcefully dragging her home and locking her up in her room. Sade was sad. She often asked herself if really her mother was the woman that gave birth to her. Her mother would even lock the room with a bunch of keys and leave. One day, as Sade came into the compound, she saw a large crowd of people. She was scared and asked her mother what was going on. Her mother had invited people from all walks of life to come to their compound that Sade was going to heal them. Sade was telling her that sometimes after healing she feels very weak, but her mother did not care. As Sade started attending to people, she healed a boy on a wheelchair. She touched people from all walks of life and she fainted. Her mother started rushing in to pour water on her, but Sade lay there. She poured so many buckets of water on Sade before she finally awoke. Her mother took her into the room in the company of other people. She was even angry that Sade had made them lose a lot of customers when they could have made a lot of money. Sade could not understand. As she lay into her bed and they tucked her into the bed, she was scared for her life. One day, Sade went to the supermarket to purchase some foodstuff as her mother had ordered her. As she was purchasing the foodstuff, she got into the grocery section, and that was when she met a man called David. David looked at Sade, and Sade looked at him. She kind of found him familiar until the guy walked up to her and introduced himself to her. He was actually one of the people that came to her compound for healing, but he had brought his mother, but Sade was unable to attend to him because of she fainted. From then onwards, they became friends. They attended church together and they sat in the same seat in church. They would even go and get some food sometimes. Sade would visit him at the hospital. She would help him out with clients with minor illness such as malaria, typhoid, and other sicknesses like that. But she couldn't heal people with terminal illness. This was something that was public knowledge, and people often commended her for her hard work and dedication to helping children get out of the hospital. Sade would play with the children. She would play with their toys and encourage them. One day, as she was playing with a child in the hospital hallway, she saw them bring in somebody. It was a little boy that they brought in, a little boy that had an accident. Sade was still playing with the other kids and made it a point to always go and visit the boy in his room. When he got to his room, to her surprise, this was her brother, one of the twin boys. She immediately told David that this was her brother. Since they needed blood, she opted to donate her own blood, and they took her blood and went out to test it. Soon, Sade's mother came to the hospital and David came with the results. Behold, Sade's blood did not match that of her brother, and they had no similarities in their DNA. Sade was already getting pissed and she said, "Mother, can you explain what is going on here?" Her mother was still maintaining a stance that she did not understand. But when Sade screamed louder, her mother finally told her the truth. Sade was not her daughter. Instead, Sade was her husband's daughter. He had Sade from a previous relationship, and she only filled in as her mother because her mother dumped her with her father and left. Sade ran out of the hospital in tears. She ran as fast as she could, and David followed behind her. He found her at a corner in the hospital crying her eyes out. He comforted her and hugged her. And after a while and a lot of prep talk, Sade went back into the hospital with him. She comforted her mother, who said to her, "Sade, my child, I know I haven't been fair to you. I have blamed you for years about what happened to Tolu. But that was not the best thing to do. I am sorry I have made your life a miserable hell. I am sorry that I have exploited you financially. Please, can you ever forgive me?" But Sade, being a very cheerful and kind person, immediately forgave her because this was the woman she has known as her mother all her life, and that would not change for anything in the world. Since Sade had been studying secretly, she went back into an adult class, and after writing the JAMB examination, she passed with flying colors. She attended a local university in her area so that she can be closer to home. And David was always there by her side. They would go out to different restaurants and eat. And on such occasion, David proposed to Sade. He asked her to be his lawfully wedded wife, and Sade accepted wholeheartedly. They had their wedding ceremony in a Catholic church. While Sade looked stunning and David handsome, they were surrounded by friends and family who had come from far and wide to share in their happiness. They took pictures and they had a dance. Everyone was looking beyond beautiful. They were so excited that people wished that they would have a relationship like theirs. Sade was finally at peace. She was happy with herself. She had forgiven her mother, and she was in a place where she was now finally ready to give back to the society. Because of her works that she had put into helping children in the hospital, she was invited for an interview in one of the most prestigious TV stations in the whole of the country. Sade looked beautiful while she explained to the interviewer what she had in stock. She planned to open a foundation which will cater to children's health and even help to raise money for people with terminal illnesses like cancer and other sicknesses that required lots of money for surgery. Soon, Sade was known everywhere as a very, very good and kind philanthropist. Even David supported her ambition, and together they built a foundation where they helped out kids and helped to mold them into good people in the society. Moral of the story: Number 1, never ever give up. No matter the situation you find yourself in, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Number 2, don't ever be a victim. Find a way to rise above waters. Find a way to rise by lifting others. Don't ever make yourself be the person that requires help, even though you can get yourself out of the situation. Number 3, education is important. No matter how we want to sound woke, getting that basic education will put us in positions that we'll never imagine we'll be in. If there are other lessons you've gotten from this story, I would like you to share it in the comment section. Thanks for watching and listening, and until next time, bye-bye.